This is part 2 to this video here, where I went through some foundational exercises for seniors who have knee pain. So if you are someone who have difficulty walking, you will need to watch part 1 before attempting the exercises in this video. Now before we go any further, please help to like this video and subscribe to this channel so that I can help more people with my channel. The goal of starting this channel is really to serve the people whom I don't have a chance to train in person. I firmly believe that my knowledge and experience is meant to help others. Alright, back to the video proper. Today, I'll be going over the progressions to the exercises in part 1. In my mind, I'm always thinking of building strength from the ground up. What I mean by that is when we are closer to the ground, we do not need to produce that much force in order to fight gravity, and this prevents the stronger muscles, which are already overactive, from taking over when we move. To give you an example of how this imbalance of muscle plays a role, I will use the example of our inner thigh muscles. Our inner thigh muscles play a big part in our ability to come out of a squat, which is called hip extension. So what ends up happening is many clients that I see will have stronger hip external rotators like the glutes and the deeper posterior hip muscles. They become the dominant driver of this movement called hip extension, which is coming out of the squat. The inner thigh muscles become weaker over time as a result of this. They don't get work as much. So in part 1, I prescribe all the ground-based exercise to help build a strong foundation where the weaker muscles will get a chance to become stronger. I have included timestamps in this video. You can find them in the video descriptions below. This is for easier future reference. So without further ado, here goes. The first exercise, we will start off from the ground. This is called the quadruped hip aeroplane exercise. I usually get my client to pat the knee with a thick towel. This thick towel serves two purposes. One, to cushion the knee, and also props up the hip on that side that we are working. Now, keep a nice long spine while performing this exercise. Most common mistake is side bending the spine on the same side during this movement. Now, you got to laterally shift the body to the working side and feel a nice stretch coming on to the glute area. Hold the first rep for 10 to 15 seconds, then proceed to move the opposite hip up and down. It's important to always return to the starting position to make sure you are going at full range. Go for 10 repetitions and repeat for 2 to 3 sets. The second exercise is a wall-supported hinge. Now you will need something as thick as the width of a yoga block in this exercise. Have the yoga block placed in between the knees and stand about 1.5 arms length away from the wall. Now, this comes the tricky part, where you need to hinge at the hip. The way I coach it is to pretend that you have headlights on the back of your bum, and you want the headlights to always be shining back and not down on the ground throughout the entire movement. Here you can see me demonstrating a back rep with my back or my pelvis rounded, pointing down towards the ground. Once you get the right position, you will actually feel a stretch in the back of the bum. Hold the position anywhere from 10 to 60 seconds as tolerated for about 3 reps. Now, once you feel that you are competent enough, you will want to go dynamic. You can move your arms or your hands up and down the wall as you are hinging to get to the stretch position and then slowly moving back up. This is to teach the body to hinge and use the hip muscles instead of using your back muscles. Moving on to the third and final exercise, which is called a wall sit hold. Now we need something to hold in between our knees. I'm using a yoga block again in this instance. Now sit into the wall with your back entirely flat against the wall. Your feet should be far forward enough so that your knees are directly above the ankles or just slightly in front of the ankles. Now your feet turn out slightly. Ideally, you will need a chair or something firm beside you to hold on, just in case you need assistance. So sit into the wall starting in a higher position. The lower you go in this exercise, the harder it is going to be. So progress slowly. Here in this position, I'm holding the wall sit at an angle or knee angle of about 110 degrees. The important thing here is that we are heavy on our heels and also squeezing the yoga block to feel the inner thigh muscles and the inner quad muscles kicking on. Start by holding for about 10 to 15 seconds for 3 repetitions and slowly progress your way up to longer durations. Repeat for 2 to 3 sets. Alright, these 3 exercises will help get your knee stronger and pain-free. Do not be too eager to push too much too soon. Now be patient as real progress takes time. Please do check out part 1 on my channel first if you are someone who needs assistance walking, because part 1 will build the foundational strength we need for part 2. Now, sequencing of exercises is also important because the exercises are arranged in a manner where we open up range of motion for the next exercise. Now, leave me a comment if you have any questions. Do help to like and subscribe. This will help my channel grow and reach more people who I can help, because that's the goal of starting this channel in the first place. Gary from Penultimate Performance, signing out.